A marvelous Monday to all Gurukulians. Okay, so in our previous lecture regarding the poem The Lake Isle of Innisfree, we discussed all the summary, theme, central idea and the tone. First of all, I will like to give here some introduction about it again in brief just. Okay, The Lake Isle of Innisfree is a lyrical poem, you know it very well, we discussed in the previous lecture, right one. This is the part 2. In part 1 we discussed the summary, the explanation. So it is a lyrical poem and it is written in a quatrain. It is your part 2, right? Part 2. And that is your final part, right? And in this poem, W.B. Yeats wants to show his desire to go to Innisfree because he thinks that when a person is living in the lap of nature or nearby the nature, he will be very happy because nature is the one thing which can give us harmony and peace, okay, and help us to be stress free. How to make stress free. When we are living in a city area, in an urban area, we are living in a very hurry manner. We should not try to give time to us. So, W.B. Yeats wants to say that we should appreciate the nature as well as living in the condition of nature. So, now here we will do the literary devices which is used in the poem to make it more symbolical, to make it more effective. Right one, and the reference to context we will also discuss here. So, first of all, I have written a stanza first on the blackboard. I am reading it for you. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee loud glade. So, firstly, I want to ask you what is the rhyming scheme of this stanza? Yes, we will go with the last word and we have to pronounce it and we have to focus the pronunciation of the last word, what it is. Innisfree, E, we will give the name A. Now go to the second line. Made, aid, we will give the name of B. Honey bee, B. Innisfree, E, it is similar at that, so you can write A. Aid, made, so you can write B. So, what is the rhyming scheme? What is the rhyming scheme? A, B, A, B. And all this poem, W.B. Yeats used this particular rhyme scheme, A, B, A, B. Now, you're observing a line here, I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree in the first stanza, and when we will read the third stanza, here again the line I will arise and go now, right. So, that line is described as repetition as a literary device, repetition. Repetition, repetition. So, you can write the line I will arise, that is your literary device which is named as repetition. You can mention the line here. Whenever you are asked to write which literary device is used in this particular line, in this particular stanza. So, you have to write the name of the literary device and you are asked to write that particular line, first one. Now, we will go with the further literary devices which is used in this particular stanza. So, second one is assonance. Assonance. So, dear student, what is assonance? When we are getting the sound of vowel in repetition in a further way. When the vowel sound is repeating in the particular words, we can say assonance is used as a literary device in the particular stanza. So, here you can see a small, a cabin, a clay, A, and wattles, A, made, A. So, in this particular line, suppose I am writing small cabin built there of clay vessels made. So you have to write the full line and you have to underline those words. Because of that, on the basis of that, we are saying it is assonance literary device. A, cabin, A, clay, A, vessels, A, made, A. So here W.B. Yeats used assonance as a literary device because of the sound, the vowel sound, A. Right one? Next, here is also the use of consonants in this particular line. Consonants. What is consonants? You have heard about consonant? Consonant. So that word is derived from that. Consonant means when we are focusing on the sound of the consonant which is repeating again in a particular word, right? So the word is the same sentence: build, L, clay, L, vessels, L. So in this particular line we can also say that there is one more literary device, dear students, and what it is? It is consonants, right? And you have to write because of L sound. Because of L sound in this particular line, here is also used of consonants. Very good. Next, the word here in the same use of consonants, live, L-I-V-E, right? Alone, loud, glade, there is also the use of consonants, right one. Next is alliteration. 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 When the first letter is repeated again and again, there is little one more difference between consonants and alliteration. In alliteration we will find that the first letter is repeated, but in consonant order may be different. The same consonant may become in the beginning, may become in the middle, and may become in the ending. But in alliteration the word should be started with the same letter. That's why we can say it is alliteration, right? So example, honey bee, hive. For the honey bee, hive. Hive for the honey bee. So H in the beginning we are noticing here, honey bee at the beginning we are noticing H. So here W.B. Yeats makes use of alliteration as a literary device. So this is about your first stanza, the how many literary devices are used in this particular stanza. On the basis of this stanza we will do some questions, okay. So here, dear student, I want to ask to all of you, what is the name of the poem? Yes, The Lake Isle of Innisfree. And the name of the poet? William Butler Yeats. Very good. My first question. Okay. Innisfree is a lake island. I am writing true or false. You have to tell me, dear students, because you have done the poem very well. Innisfree is a lake island. It is true or false? Yes, it is true or false. It is true also. Second question. In Innisfree, the poet wants to grow. This is for you. Yes, tell me. The poet wants to grow. What? 9. Here you have to focus. 9 bean rows. Very good. 9 bean rows. Okay, very good. Now, the poet wants to go. The poet wants to go to Innisfree because, or you can say in order to, you have to fill this blank. The poet wants to go to Innisfree in order to get peace, anyone who wants to say what can become here instead of go to get peace? To make herself away from the city life, to make herself away from the stress and burden which he is facing while living in the city. It may be the answer, right one. And next is trace a word, trace a word from the passage, from the extract as the having the same meaning, having the same meaning, open area. Yes, in previous lecture I have told you, my dear students, what is the meaning of that particular word. You have to try for 1 second. Open area, yes, that is glade. So you can write the answer glade. Okay. Now, one more question is, the poet will plant what? 9 bees rows, and what will he make? He will make a cabin, and which is made by clay and wattles. This is about your stanza 1. Now we will do our stanza 2nd. Okay, there are 3 stanzas in this poem, and that poem is in a quatrain, means each stanza is having 4 lines, and the 4th line is shorter than the 3 lines, and it is a lyrical poem. It is published in 1890. Very good. Now we will do the 2nd stanza. How many literary devices are used in this particular stanza, and some internal questions which is based on this particular stanza. We will do, dear students. Now I am writing the stanza. And I shall have some peace there. For peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of the morning, What kind of mornings are there? Mornings are misty. It's maybe some means misty visibles there, right one? Some drops will be there, some clouds will be there, which will be clear after some time. Morning. To where the crickets. Cricket. What is cricket here, dear students? Cricket is a game here or anything different from that? Yes, cricket is a insect related to the grasshopper but with the shorter legs. They produced a musical chirping. Right, we are writing the stanza. their midnights, therefore Innisfree, their midnights all are glimmer, all are glimmer means twinkling, and noon a purple glow, right? And last line, and evenings full of the linnet's wings. Dear student, please tell me what is linnets here. Linnet is a small brown and grey bird. Okay? It's okay? With a short beak. Okay. Now here you are observing that there is second stanza in front of you. What literary, first of all we will do the rhyming scheme. So you will see slow. You can write A, slow. You have to pronounce the word for it, slow. Sings, glow, A, and wings again B. So what is the rhyming scheme? A, B, A, B, right. Now what literary devices is used here? First of all, 1. In the first stanza we saw the last line that and live alone in the be loud glade, and here also and evenings full of. You have to focus on and there is one more line in the starting also, end, right one. So here the poet makes use of the literary device anaphor, right one, anaphora, where any sentence is starting with the consecutive words. You can say there is a literary device and which is named as anaphora. So you have to write those particular lines, and I shall have some peace there, and evenings full of the linnet's wings, and you have to write the line from the stanza first, and that is and live alone in the be loud glade. And one more, metaphor. Metaphor. You are observing the line veils of the morning. Here, veils of the morning means morning is described as the women. You can say also here the makes use of personification. Personification. Also, both literary devices in used in this veils of the morning. Mornings are misty, some clouds will be there, and it will disappear when the sun has taken its position. It's all be very clear. But when we will see that things, that situation, that surrounding, when we are in the lap of nature, when we are focusing on these little particles, what is going around us. And personification is also, morning is used as the face of women, which is covered by some kind of, you can say, dupatta, right one. So that is also personification. And next one, you have to find out that there is assonance somewhere in the line or consonance there. You have to find it yourself, dear student. Now we will do some question related to this stanza. Okay? Yes. What did the poet see in the morning? Question number 1. What did the poet see in the morning? Yes, dear student, try to find out the perfect answer for it. Yes, the poet saw, answer, the poet saw some dew drops. Dew drops which are coming from the veil of the morning, which seem to be dropping, which seem to be dropping. How? Slowly. Right one? Because the mornings are very misty. And next question is, what did the poet hear in this passage? What did the poet hear? Yes. Try to find out the answer. What did the poet hear? The song which is sung by the crickets. The poet is listening that kind of music which is created by the crickets. Very good. And your next question is, what does this particular stanza suggest the poet? Suggestion in this passage. What is the suggestion? Yes. What kind of idea is given by this particular stanza to the poet? Means the poet wants to live in the lap of nature. What is suggest? The poet wants to live in the lap of nature. Because the poet is observing what kind of mornings are there and what kind of midnights are there. Midnights are very glimmered, they are very twinkled because of the countless stars, and the noon is very purple because of the blossom of the flowers. And nights are also full, evenings are also full the linnet's wings. The poet is observing these things because he is too much attached with Innisfree. Right one. And your next question regarding it, midnight glimmers. Midnight glimmers. Why? Because of the shine of the stars. Because of the shining stars. Okay, this is your stanza second. Now we will do stanza third. Okay, so what did you notice here? The morning are misty, evenings are full of linnet wings, purple, noon is there, and crickets are singing their song, and the poet is attracted toward that things. He wants to live in the lap of nature because he is running in search of peace. And that kind of peace comes to him how? By living in the lap of nature. So, everyone should try to appreciate nature, that soothing effect, the harmony, that peace which nature can give us rather than anything in this world. Right? Yes, your last stanza we are doing here. I will arise. Stanza third is this. The same line which we saw in the first stanza. In the first line, because of that, repetition is used. I will arise. I will arise and go now for always, night and day. Who is speaking this line? The poet W.B. Yeats. He is so determined in this line because he wants to go to Innisfree and he is very determined to say all this thing. He wants to go there. I hear, I again poet, I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. When the poet is saying this particular line, means he was not in the Innisfree. No, he just want to go to that place, and the effect of that place is in heart is so much high. So he is thinking again to visit Innisfree. Sure, while here he is explaining, while I stand. At that time I just stand where? On the roadway. On the roadway. This particular line tells us that at present the poet is living in an urban area in a city life. Roadway or on the pavements grey. Right? Here the city life is shown by the poet, that is very barren and dry, and he is living in that particular scenario. Right? Here we can see the effect of that particular place of Innisfree in the heart of the poet. I hear it. It is used for the lake water. It. In the deep heart, that is not heart, that is heart, cold. Right? Okay. So what is the rhyming scheme? You have to find yourself day, shore, grey, core. Same A, B, A, B. Okay. There is alliteration. Alliteration. Where it is? Lake, L, lapping, L, low, L. Right? Here the poet makes use of alliteration. You have to write that particular line here. And next is, here you can see the assonance, anywhere else. Right? That is your task. You have to find out, dear student. Now we will go with some questions here. Roadway and pavements grey show the urban area, and it is very barren and very dry, and that is why poets want to go to Innisfree, because he wants to live in the lap of nature. Now your question is, question number 1 is for you. What does it in the last line? What does it? It refers to? It refers to lake water. Lake water. I hear it in the deep heart score, because the poet is too much attached. Now at present he is not in Innisfree, but he is missing that feeling. Okay. Next question is, give the noun form of deep. Noun form of deep. You can say depth or deepness. Deepness. Okay. And next question is, these lines suggest that, these particular lines means the poet is so much attached, and the effect of that place is too much, and he is feeling attracted toward that place. And next is, the word grey signify grey, pavement's color. Pavement's color, roadway and grey. Roadway and grey has internal rhyme in this poem. Roadway. Roadway and grey. Here the poet makes use of internal rhyme. Internal rhyme to make it more effective. And your next question is, the word means arise. To, what is the meaning of it? To stand out. To stand out. The examiner can ask you these kind of things when you are giving your paper of 9th class. So dear students, you have to make it very clear that everything which is written in poem is the word meaning, literary device, it is noun. You have to make a control over these things, that you are very confident to give answer regarding all these things. So dear student, good luck, and you have to prepare this poem. If you have any problem regarding this, you can ask me through your WhatsApp. Thank you.